Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Hopeful collab goodness in the form of Guinness Brewing and Brooklyn Brewing. This is Fonio. We're gonna go with Fonio. Fonio Stout. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Yeah. It says a bold and lively stout. I have no idea this stout existed. I went to a bottle shop. I saw the 4-pack of this, and I'm like, Guinness in Brooklyn. I'm like, I kind of want to try it because, honestly, Brooklyn, super underrated. Used to be kind of like trendsetter, but now they're kind of, I don't know, they're kind of lost in the ether a little bit, floating around out there. But I really do dig their beers. I review them every now and then, and a lot of their old 750 barrel aged stuff still kind of is gettable in Jersey, so I like that. And Guinness, honestly, I'll rip me a Guinness any day of the week. Don't mind it. A nice, really cold Guinness in the summer, I think, is absolutely S-tier beer. So we'll see where this sucker lands. What do we have on here? A lot of stuff, so buckle up. It's Guinness. I don't even remember what I was going to call this again. It's the Guinness Fonio. Oh, I'm horrible at this. Fonio Stout, bold and lively stout in collaboration with Brooklyn Brewing, 21 plus USA, Brewing for Impact, a collaboration of community creativity and passion. This limited edition beer celebrates the rich global history of Guinness, blending our Irish heritage with the vibrance of African culture and the creative spirit of Brooklyn Brewery brewmaster Garrett Oliver. Together, we dive into this new ingredients, highlighting Fonio, an ancient West African grain that lends the robust flavors of the region to this bold and lively stout. Guinness Brooklyn Brewery, reimagining what beer can be. Okay, Guinness proudly supports the Michael James Jackson Foundation. Just looking at this can, I assume this is a Brooklyn beer, but I think this might be brewed and canned by Guinness Brewing Company, Utica, New York. Utica, New York. That's not... Yeah. I don't think Brooklyn... That sounds like a... Is it Utica's Mad FX? Or is that Schmaltz? Anyway, I think this is actually brewed at a Brooklyn facility. Unless Guinness brews out there, but I don't think they do. I don't think it makes a difference either. So let's give this a pour and see where we land. Label-wise, I like it. I mean, it is literally the Guinness Stout can with a bunch of, scribbles and coloration on it. A classic kind of, red, yellow, orange-ish, and green kind of colors. Celebrating, what do they call it? The, highlighting ancient West African grain, so regional coloration on basically the Guinness can. So I kind of dig it. It definitely catches the eye. But we'll see what's what. What's the ABV? 6.2%. What's Guinness? 5 and change? Like classic base Guinness. I know there's several different Guinnesses, so we'll see what's what. But as far as the beer looks, I mean, it looks the part of a low ABV stout. It's more of a kind of rich mahogany with a little bit of brown thrown in, but it's quite dark, as you can see. You're not going to be able to catch any of that in camera. 2 fingers of head on that sucker, so it looks the part of a stout. It actually looks very much like a 6% Guinness-esque kind of beer, so I'll give it a whirl, see if we can get a nose. Yeah, it smells way, for me, it smells way more kind of like richer. Nah, that's not the word I want to use. There's a bit more depth to the chocolate here that you typically get. For me, Guinness, it's been a while since I've had one, but from memory, it's typically roasted malts, a little bit of baker's chalk, a little bit of subtle sweetness on that sucker. Done and done. To me, in this, there's a depth and complexity to the way that chocolate kind of comes off. I'm not saying it's orange, but if you ever eat like that orange chocolate mixture, some people make those candies that are orange chocolate mixtures. It has that kind of vibe to it. Again, I'm not saying it smells like orange, but that kind of mixture of some kind of added ingredient to chocolate that's outside of the norm. We've all had, peanut butter and chocolate. We've all had mint and chocolate. It's that next level characteristic that we're not super used to, and it must be that I'm gonna have to say this word again. I'm gonna say it like the 5th time differently. Fonio. I'm gonna say Fonio. Fonio. That's what I'm gonna call it, even if it's wrong. Grain has to be adding that kind of element to it. It actually has a really fantastic nose. Rich, decadent, a little bit of what I would call spiciness. And by spiciness, I mean added note outside of what you typically get from chocolate. It's not necessarily like a jalapeno kind of spiciness or anything like that, but I call it like a spiciness. Like when you're adding a spice to a dish, that kind of thing going on. And it's really fun, just rich kind of beer. It really elevates beyond that 6 and change, at least aromatically. I think it smells pretty fun. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Man, it's going to drive me insane. This flavor profile, it follows through in the taste. Exactly what I'm getting in the nose. It has this... I lack the descriptor, so it's a problem with me as opposed to the beer. But this added element of that grain, that Fonio grain, is adding a kind of spicy... I use the word spicy in a way that... You know, when you use the word spice, everybody thinks of peppers and hot things. When I'm saying spice, again, I keep explaining myself, but I want to make sure we're sure here, like cinnamon is a spice. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of spice I'm talking about. Cinnamon spice, not like a heat or anything like that. I just can't put my finger on. And it's got to be that grain. It's going to drive me insane. Because I know the flavor. I just can't articulate what it is. So it has a mouthfeel that's nice. It's soft, albeit a skosh thin. Definitely thinner than what you get from a typical Guinness. But not thinner than what you get from a typical Guinness. It doesn't have that nitro widget in it, so it kind of lacks that kind of expressiveness, so keep that in mind. But again, it's not like a full mouthfeel stout. It's not like oatmeal level. It's not export stout level. It's somewhere in between like a base low ABV stout and an export stout. A little bit of roasted malts. Nothing too aggressive, but they're definitely there. Multiple layers of chocolate here from Baker's Chocolate Semi-Sweet. And then this little bit of, again, spiced kind of chocolate in the way that, man, it's a pepperiness to me. But it's not like black pepper level pepperiness. It's not white pepper. It's not even that aggressive. It's some kind of subtle, spicy pepperiness, almost like an Amburana would, but not as like knock out a bit of the cinnamon from that. That's kind of the way it kind of comes off to me. Spelty, maybe, kind of in that kind of family-ish kind of spiciness. Definitely not pink peppercorn, anything like that, but it has this little level of spiciness to it that just adds this cool kind of twist of characteristic to it. I just realized this kind of lightly reminds me of Low End Theory. Is it Low End Theory? From Tribe Called Quest, or is it their other album that has all the colorful squiggles on it? Anyway, I like this. I think it's fun. It's not rewriting books of a 6% stout for me. It's not world, like Mount Rushmore status level stuff for me. But it's fun. And it's just drinkable. And just that little twist, that little curveball of that added grain and what that Fonio does to this beer, I think is a cool experience in and of itself. Again, like I said, it's not going to take this beer and kind of elevate into something that it's not, which is something I'm going to buy a 4-pack of 4-pack or 4-pack of. But I bought a 4-pack and I'm glad I got it. And it's a cool experience and a fun twist. And honestly, a very cool collab. You're talking about Brooklyn Brewery and Guinness, kind of like Old Guard US versus Old Guard Ireland. I dig it. I can get down with it. I'm glad I got 4 cans of it. And I'll be ripping these. So there you go. I think that's it. I would love to see this with a widget in it. I think it might be a better beer with a little bit of nitro in there. Anyway, maybe that little spiciness goes away, so maybe I'm, telling porcupines here, but yeah. Anyway, fun beer nonetheless. So there you go. Weird review in the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Mount Rushmore status, no. Valued availability, it was, I want to say it was like 14, 15 bucks a 4-pack, and leave you with, if you like what you like this. If you like Guinness, you like Brooklyn, you like Stouts, you like just a touch of pizzazz on top of your Guinness, then you'll dig this. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Massive Beers. Type that in the Googs. You'll find me on all social medias. Brooklyn Brewing, Guinness Brewing. Have you been to either brewery? I've never been to either. How weird is that? I think Guinness, sure, fine. But Brooklyn? I've like walked past it 1,000 times. Never been to the brewery. Have you been to the breweries? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? What's your favorite beer from either of these breweries? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying some good beer right now. Hopefully tune in next time. Cheers.